Rob, it's a simple question. Chiefs hosting the Ravens tonight, rematch of the AFC Championship game from last year. It's in Kansas City, as I said. First game of the season. Simple question, Rob Parker. Who you got winning and why?
Tonight?
Tonight.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. Not so much on the revenge factor. I just think I like the Derrick Henry edition. I just like the idea that sometime with all the hoopla, I remember, was that last year or 2 years ago when the Lions went into Kansas City?
Now,
right?
Travis Kelce and Chris Jones were out, but still.
Right, but they won the game, and they had a chance to win Kansas City, if you remember. Remember?
Yeah, it was, normally it was 21-20,
yeah, normally you get the ball back with 2 minutes to go, and Mahomes would drive them down, Chris. They kick a field goal, right? And the Lions would have had a good showing, but they would lose. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. I like the Ravens. I'm going to like the Ravens all year. I think they get off to a good start. This doesn't determine anything. I'm not one of those guys, one game this early in the year means that this or that's going to happen. I just like them, and I want to see what the addition of Derrick Henry added to that offense does. That's it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. The Ravens are my pick to win the Super Bowl. Ravens over Packers in the Super Bowl is my pick. I'm picking them tonight. Obviously, it'll be a tough challenge to go into Kansas City and win. But here's what I'm looking at, Robin. You mentioned, obviously, Derrick Henry. That's huge because, one, he's the best running back of this generation. Two, it shows a commitment on the part of the Ravens to run the football.
Which they did not do in that big AFC Championship game that they barely lost, and they played horrible with penalties, Chris, and self-inflicted stuff and a fumble at the goal line. I mean, you could go back and replay that. They just played awful.
Absolutely. And like you said, they played awful. Taking nothing away from the Chiefs.
No, they won. The Chiefs won the game, but
the Ravens beat themselves. They it's just as simple as that. One, they lost their identity by not running the football. And the addition of Derrick Henry, you don't bring Derrick Henry to your team.
To not run the ball. Right.
So that shows you that they're going to run the ball. Lamar Jackson, Rob, lost 15 pounds. He's lost 30 pounds from 2 years ago. He's down to 200 pounds. And he said that he has done it because he felt slow. He felt like he wasn't as fast as he used to be. And there's two plays, and we talked about these, of course, after that AFC title game, but two plays where his speed or lack thereof, relatively speaking, he's still fast, obviously. But from what he used to be, it was glaring the difference. And one was on the 21-yard run against the Chiefs in that championship game where L'Jarius Sneed kind of tracked him down. But the thing was, Lamar didn't really even try to run away from him. He kept looking back, trying to stiff arm him almost, rather than just cutting outside and trying to take it to the house. I think years ago, a lighter, faster Lamar tries to go all the way, and maybe he does. And then that was the play I was looking at, Rob. But Lamar has pointed out a play that was the ESPN play of the year. Remember when he threw the pass, it got batted, and he caught it and took off? I think it was like a 13 or 18-yard gain, something like that. But he really didn't get caught from behind, but I think it was a linebacker for the Chiefs dove and got his legs, and Lamar went down. And Lamar has looked at that and said, there's no way they should have got me like that. He should have been gone. And so, make no mistake, the weight loss is about him getting into open space more and running like he used to. And I mean, he's still going to obviously throw the football. He's a better passer than he's ever been. So that's not going to go away. But I think he's going to be a more dangerous runner than he was last year and maybe even the year before. He'll get back to kind of what he was. But also, Rob, as I said, the Ravens outgained the Chiefs last year. The Ravens averaged 6 yards per play last year against the Chiefs. The Ravens ran for 5.5 yards per rush against the Chiefs, held the Chiefs to less than 3 yards per carry, and shut the Chiefs offense out in the second half, and lost because they had 8 penalties for nearly 100 yards.
Yep.
Because several of those penalties, the majority of those penalties, were just losing their head.
That was sideline stuff, Chris. Right.
Roughness. Absolutely.
Sideline
Unnecessary
stuff.
roughness. The taunting by Zay Flowers. I mean, roughing the passer, things that just could have and should have been avoided. So, Rob, I'm looking at it like the Ravens know we were better than the Chiefs last year. And we're better than them this year. And we just have to keep our cool, keep our identity, and we can win this game. And that's why I'm picking them tonight.
And I'll say this, too, and I've said this to you before. The Ravens are like the Celtics, Chris. Like, until they do it, people are always just going to be skeptical. And they finally did it, the Celtics. And you remember there was a point during the postseason where I just said, they're going to win. Like, they just kept playing, winning, Chris, no matter who was there, no matter what was going on. It wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always great. And I just think that the Ravens are like that. They're just going to have to win, and then people are going to be like, they did it. They won. Wow. Yep. All that talk about Lamar can't do this or do that the way we talked about Jason Tatum just goes away. Right. And some teams are like that where you don't expect them to win or you're not going to pick them, Chris, until they actually win.
Yeah, it's interesting you make that comparison because Tatum had been so good. Like, he was on a trajectory, Rob, where it was like he's got to win a championship.
Right.
Very few players, and I know they're all-time greats, Barkley, Harden, Ewing, and many more, Karl Malone, they'd never won a championship. Yeah. But I'm saying this dude has been very, very, very good from day one. Remember at 19 years old, he played great against the Cavs in the playoffs, great against LeBron. Like, he has been, I'm not saying he's like a LeBron level or, Jokic level player, but I'm just saying he is, a Hall of Fame player, and he has been great through the first 6-7 years of his career. And it was like he's a guy that his past says he's going to win. And to your point, he finally did. Same thing with Lamar. Rob, nobody in the history of the NFL who's won the MVP twice or more has not won a championship.
Right. You just know.
There'll be a blight on his record if he doesn't.
But
I think he will.
Right. The chances are he's going to get it done because, like even Chris, him winning last year, the MVP, he didn't have gaudy numbers at all, but everybody knows the impact that he has on that football team. I think it's hard to deny, right? Like, he didn't have 1 million touchdowns.
No. It helped him that nobody had a historically great season.
But I'm just saying, but his numbers weren't like eye-popping.
No, his numbers weren't. They weren't nearly as good as, they were good, but they weren't his first MVP.
First MVP, he had numbers throughout.
World.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's not that. But he still wins at a high clip, right? Is it almost 74 or 3%?
75. No, 75.
Is it 75?
Yeah, he's I want to say third all time.
It's ridiculous. 75% is outrageous.